there is an imperfection to stop motion that makes it perfect.
It is probably the most difficult type of filmmaking. You're taking something that doesn't want to move or be in the air, that is just a still thing, and you're just painstakingly moving it to exactly where you want to be.
Stop motion, you walk into a dark stage, there's nothing there, and you just have to bring in everything to, recreate that naturalistic beauty.
When you see a world and you somehow can just tell that it really exists, and the characters touch a rock, or they, put their feet in the stream, I think it's just something with our brains, like, we're touching that rock, we're putting our feet in the stream. It just draws us into this imaginary world.
I think it makes everyone just sort of take a beat and think, someone did that by hand, one frame at a time.
A guest-directed episode is an episode where we take an outside director and just pretty much give them free rein to do their version of Adventure Time. And we've done 3 so far, one directed by David O'Reilly, one directed by Masaki Iwasa, and this will be the 3rd, directed by Kirsten.
My name is Kirsten Laporte, and I'm the writer and director of the Stop Motion Adventure Time episode.
You know these people you just get, like, neggy vibes from?
Yeah, like bad Jubies or something.
Totally. They just put everyone in a whack mood with their bad Jubies.
Kirsten is the perfect fit for Adventure Time because of the simplicity.
I just think her aesthetic and her style is like a perfect fit.
When you do any kind of animation, you are always striving for an emotional impact. And her stuff consistently has a really emotional quality to it.
I remember seeing her shorts, starting with Story of North America.
How would you feel if a giant hand came out of the sky and decided to crush you?
And Sweet Dreams. And then Bottle. You really saw her voice sort of develop. Also, her work is on the show. It's been on the show for years now. The Frederator N-Tag. That was animated by her.
When they called me in for the first couple meetings, they were still finishing up Iwasa's episode, so then I got to see it before it even aired in-house, and that just blew my mind. So I had a lot to live up to.
Everybody here under the Bix Pix roof is familiar with Adventure Time.
It's kind of an unexpected bonus. I'm glad that it went to them.
When it was mentioned, we were like, wow, that would be so cool to bring this show into the stop motion world.
Especially something as exciting as Adventure Time, to be able to kind of give it your own little spin. That's like a dream come true.
I think Adventure Time, the style of the show, really lends itself to stop motion because it's more about shapes and less about literal drawings of people.
Being able to just do one really special episode in our style and how we do animation it's been amazing.
It started pretty blue sky. It was what are you excited about? What kind of story do you want to tell?
It was tricky coming up with all the conceptual stuff for this episode. I think it could have gone in so many different directions.
A lot of her early ideas were really elaborate. I mean, it involved almost every person in the Candy Kingdom.
You can't go visit, Princess Bubblegum at home. We can't build that.
My first initial reaction, which is always in stop motion, is like, oh, there's a lot of shots. There's a lot of shots, and the schedule was really tight, so it was just kind of it seemed aggressive.
Is there one practical, though?
No, we're not going to do that.
Oh, so that's official.
It's out. It's out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's so good.
That's just the way I read scripts, is picture in my head the work ahead.
So Jason's our production designer. He is incredible. Everything that you see in terms of props and sets and all these little details, that's all his genius.
Talking to Kirsten, I was looking at her storyboards and I said, well, we can't build a tree house. And then looking at the rest, I said, well, I don't have time. We can't build a forest. We can't do trees. It's gonna take too much time. So there's 3 different sizes, foreground, and then our slight background, and then we've got our mini guys that we can do on our background cutters. I saw running water. I was like, running water, there's just no way. It's basically going to click and register every time the animator turns it, so the water moves. It got to the point like, what is this episode's going to be in a field somewhere, you know?
The set department is always one of the departments that blows my mind because of the things that they're able to do on a miniature scale. And with this show, it would have to be the miniature version of the treehouse.
The treehouse set was something that we weren't going to build it because it was really expensive.
And these things I kept saying, okay, well, if we have time, we'll do the treehouse. But when we started thinking, I was like, this is Adventure Time. Like, come on. You can't not have the treehouse.
The treehouse just has a million details in it. Like, Jason is meticulous, looking at all these still images of the show, making sure that everything is exactly how it appears in the show.
And there's been a couple extra little bonus things that Jason is just, maybe, you know, if I have time, I'll build it.
It came out pretty cool.
Like, especially with like this set behind us as well as like the interior.
This is like literally a 3-second shot, maybe, just when they're doing the fist pound, and he must have spent days on that.
We did have to have a limited cast for this, just because everything has to be built in stop motion. So we had to have 4 of each character, so that's already 16 puppets right there. There's just so many characters to choose from, and they're all amazing.
You've got to have Finn and Jake, of course.
Hey, man, what you doing up here?
Building the interior of Finn. This is his armature, which is basically like a skeleton.
Sometimes when you have to do a little human, a miniature human, it's easier than doing a very geometric shape, because when you're off on the geometry, it shows so much easier than on the human, because the human's organic.
Nailed it.
I'm going to be opening a Jake muzzle mold.
Oh, I hope it's perfect.
Yes, perfect.
Let me show you what I've been working on.
We decided that we should just sculpt eyelids over top of him. So these are all just super sculpey that I did, kind of just fit perfectly over top. Once they're painted, they'll actually look good.
So right now I'm just detailing his eyes, just seeing them go from concept to sculpt, and then seeing how both of those come together with my paint job. All of a sudden now he's starting to come to life without even having really done anything.
So we have all the Finn costumes here, ready to go on the puppets. The backpack's all rigged up with wire so it can be animated. Barney was carving some BMO shapes. Every line that BMO delivers, I'm just all over, and I could just listen to BMO talk all day.
I will never know the pleasures of skinny dipping.
LSP is an interesting one because she can be so many different things. We're kind of trying to figure out what her physicality is in real life.
Yeah, my body feels weird too. Here, Finn, feel this.
It's probably obvious from this episode that LSP is one of my favorite characters.
LSP is like the most amazing character I've ever animated.
Excuse me? Are you not aware that we are all working our steamy buns off down there so we don't get wiped out by this crazy sky nightmare?
I see a lot of myself and other people in her.
Doesn't not just not care what people think about her, she doesn't even think that that should be a thing to think about.
She's an absolute nightmare.
I'm not here to make friends.
This was the first test cast of LSP, so she's a little dirty. Like, she didn't fill up all the way with silicone.
It's sad. Bluebird, squirrel, rabbit. Today we're doing eagle. Making some wings.
I added one extra character in here that has never been seen before.
The Storm Cloud character. He really fits right in with the design world of Adventure Time.
His arms are gonna spin, so they look like they're tornadoes.
Peekaboo, I'ma hurt you.
They have never been worn. These are mint. These are mint. These are mint Larry Bird socks. This is a good omen. One of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game. On every show, we have to be christened by Larry Legend.
Okay, cool. Good morning. How are you? Doing good. We're about to shoot, so this will be the... Yeah. We were just getting all the final touches put in right before Rachel's set to animate. We'll have, I think, 6 or 7 stages running simultaneously.
So the spike will be connected to these joints, which will connect to this. It's just to keep him up in the air and stable enough that I can pose him. You kind of play all the frames up until your live frame. And if the live frame is right, it'll feel right. But if your frame is off, like if he was twisted too far this way and I play everything, the last frame will just jump out at you. That's what you kind of get good at, is just feel of movement.
I was a little nervous when everyone came to visit.
This place is cool. I want to work here.
Cartoon Network is more than welcome to come over here anytime.
Getting to meet the Adventure Time crew was really a huge kick.
And it was pretty exciting to show the whole crew around.
So that being said, let's go out on the stages and see what these guys are doing.
This is their world, you know, and they're seeing it, you know, in 3D.
It's like their eyes just kept getting bigger and bigger, just trying to take in all the information.
It was good to see that, you know, they get really excited, and I did get to chat with Penn when he was walking around.
Penn, the creator, was there as well, so I was like, ooh, what's Penn gonna think?
She stuck all those pins in the bunny's butt. Spoke to Penn briefly, just showing him the tree house and, you know, the static grass.
I was so pleased that he really dug the environment and what we were doing here.
When other people see it for the first time, it's always reminds you like, oh, this is amazing.
I see nothing!
When you work on something for a long time, sometimes you sort of become blind to it until you see somebody else's interpretation of your work, and it sort of refreshes your energy.
Their enthusiasm for seeing what we do reminded us why we do this.
I was really pumped just to share that with them.
This is one of the nicest things anyone's ever done for me. Howdy!
This episode absolutely has so many great moments and terrific one-liners.
I think it's turned out really awesome.
I hope it becomes a fan favorite.
Adventure Time fans are definitely gonna have something to say.
I mean, my hope would be that people see it and they're like, can we make an entire season that looks just like this?
I could see another special, another episode. Hint, hint, wink.
It's great that I get to go to work every day and just make things with my hands and make them come to life.